Welcome back to Dragon and Bear, where
Whoa. I think your balls are dropped, Alex.
Oh, yes, I finally hit puberty after 25 years of this world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like this episode. Manly.
Yep.
Manly as anything.
I am the man of the man,
The man.
where we are watching Dipper vs. Manliness.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, we're on Gravity Falls episode 6. Titled Dipper vs. Manliness, which, when Alex realised what it was, he was like, and I was like, oh, I can't remember this one slightly, and I don't remember it as fondly this time. It's good, but it's not great, which is probably why I'm gonna break my oath of between 9 and 10.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst, but I don't think it's amazing.
It's not the best. It's not the best, but it's not the worst.
Obviously it does kind of sum Dipper up how he's been the last couple, like especially after the last episode we're trying to get with Wendy. It does kind of sum him up of him. It's something in his character trait that he would do. He'd go and track down these so-called minotaurs to try and basically get the manliness. He'd team up with them and start basically trying to become more of a man. So it does kind of fit in with the character of Dipper. And I was thinking, we've also got the subplot of fucking
Grunkle Stan and Lazy Susan.
That's it, Lazy Susan. And obviously he's trying to get off of her, and obviously fucking Mabel and Wendy and Zeus are trying to help him. I mean, the whole Zeus sequence of him dressed up as Lazy Susan, and Grunkle Stan walks over, spits, and is like, "Get some money I can borrow."
Get the money.
That's just like that. Just sums up the character. Like I say, it's not the worst episode, but I don't think it's the best. I like the idea of the Minotaurs, like, hey, but massive they are. Obviously, that just kind of go with the whole manliness. Obviously, there's also the idea of these Minotaurs could be on steroids because they're kind of a lot of them are kind of very dumb. Yeah, so they could be on very much steroids at this point. They could have been like really small Minotaurs, like the one from the really shit Wonder Woman animated movie. They could have been like that originally, but then they've juiced themselves up and they're like roided out now. And so you got the multi-bear. But yeah, obviously, it's in a multi-bear is quite interesting. It's an interesting idea. I just don't think it's a massive draw like the other episodes. No. Like a lot of the episodes, the plots are actually... A lot of it is very humorous. I don't think that this one's as humorous. I think the subplot is more humorous than the main plot.
They can't all be like winners.
That's me. On most TV shows, there's always at least one episode that is good, but it's nowhere near the quality of some of the other ones you've watched. Like, and I think this one definitely falls in that category.
Definitely
for me, but it's still a good episode. So but obviously, because I looked away towards the end. What actually happened with that guy at the start? Did they go back or anything or not? Or did they ignore the fact that they locked a guy in the mystery shack?
They ignored the guy.
Did they ignore? They brush it over.
Yeah,
because obviously at the start you're gonna check out just in case you missed it.
No.
Basically at the start, there's a guy in there trying to buy stuff. They want to go for food, and this guy's just like, "Do I? Don't I? Like me when ordering anything, like, do I buy it? Don't I buy it? Do I buy it? Don't I buy it? Do I get the money for it? Do I not get the money for it?" Like, you know, like any actually normal person as well, like debating what to get. Obviously, he's got like 2 t-shirts in hand, like. Puma, Panther, Puma, Panther, Puma, Panther. Like, he's like that for ages and ages. And obviously they managed to sneak out and like, fuck this. So they lock him in the mystery shack so he can't go anywhere. Obviously he can't steal anything. So when they go back to
basically locks him inside their entire house.
Yeah, and obviously they ignore that entire plot eventually. I mean, it would have been funny if they went back and he was still doing the fucking Puma, Panther, Puma, Panther. And he's like, oh my god, this guy still... That's how it should have ended.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, they kind of ignore that plot, so that's another thing.
But instead, you get the Lazy Susan phoning Grunkle Stan at the end scene credit.
Yeah, so I think that's another thing with this episode then, is obviously the fact that they kind of ignore a plot, that little joke at the start.
I mean, it's just a joke, though, isn't it?
It is like a little throwaway gag, but I mean, they could have done something with it. Like at the end, so the end credit sequence could have been that.
Oh, definitely. Oh my god, I'm so bright.
Like, literally, it could have been the fact that
There we
it's
go.
nighttime outside and he's still going, Puma, Panther, Puma, Panther.
Yeah.
Like, they could have done something like that. And it zooms outside and obviously he's still locked inside. They've gone a different way into the house and they've just locked him inside with a chair still. That would have been funny. But
It wasn't
obviously,
even a chair, it was a plank of wood.
that was it, a plank of wood, not a chair.
Yeah, man.
He just fucking drops it so he can't get out. But yeah, obviously, they could have done something with that as a joke to play on it, but
There's multiple things that they could have done.
there is multiple things, but I feel like they should have literally acknowledged that joke again.
Hmm.
It would have been quite humorous. But still, it's a watchable episode. It's fun at times.
Hmm.
It obviously just exactly what the plot says it does. It's basically Dipper trying to be manly. It does exactly that. While also, as usual, giving us some sort of little subplot, which this time, as I said, kind of outshines the actual plot. Just because I feel like obviously the Mabel, Grunkle Stan, and obviously fucking
Zeus and Wendy.
Zeus dynamic, like it kind of outweighs Dipper at sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's Mabel and Zeus. What
Yeah,
can you
exactly.
expect?
So it's always going to be the case of this might outshine its main plot. I feel like as a writer, that's kind of not what you don't want to do. You kind of don't want to outshine your main plot
with the subplot. Yeah,
exactly. I feel like if you're doing like essentially like the whole thing itself is kind of the same sort of like there's two they're both the main plot fighting each other, but because obviously this whole plot is literally about him being manly, that makes it the main plot, and obviously this whole them trying to get him into the relationship is the subplot. Obviously, as I say, as a writer, you don't want to have that one go above the actual plot of the episode. I feel like maybe if they changed the title to The Quest for Manliness, because obviously the idea of him basically trying to get off, obviously with Lazy Susan.
Yeah, that's also part of the quest.
Exactly. So if they did like that, because obviously it's the quest of him become a man as well, essentially. Yeah. So if that I call it that rather than Dipper versus Manliness, like that just that title kind of just hints more at the Dipper plot rather than the subplot. So maybe it's just a little tweak of the wording of the title. Maybe then it could be the case of it's two even plots. And obviously that plot is outshining the Dipper plot, but you can let it slide a bit more if the title was in the sense of it kind of worked for both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for example, the Lake episode, obviously, which is our lowest rated one. If they called if that episode was titled about obviously the title of the episode, say I can't remember what the lake was called off the top of my head, but say the episode,
it's the Legend of the Gobblewalker.
Do you remember what the lake was called though, off the top of your head or not?
No.
So basically, say the episode was titled after the lake.
Yeah.
Like they call it the Legend of Summit Lake. And obviously you had your two plots then. You had the Legend of them basically dealing with the Gobblewalker, which is obviously the Legend of the Lake. And then you've got the Grunkle Stan little really subplot of him dealing with stuff on the lake. So the episode's titled around the lake, which kind of allows leeway of them both being the plot, whereas obviously you say it's just called The Legend of the Gobblewalker, and the whole plot is them doing that, and Grunkle Stan's subplot doesn't outshine it, doesn't obviously fully agree with the title, it's its own thing, whereas I say this is called Dipper versus Manliness, that's all aimed at him, but yet there's still a subplot, which they're kind of, if you read the actual description, it's kind of not subplot-esque, because of the fact they put it in the description. Like, if they ignored it, and put it focused, then obviously then it is fully a subplot that they've ignored, but they kind of hinted at it being more of the plot, but it's kind of, it's weird that it outshines the actual name of the episode. It's weird. It's basically, there's ways they could have probably got around doing it.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, there's not really much to say about this one, I don't think.
No, I think I'm ready to give my verdict.
I want to let you go first, because I'm debating internally. I'm going beyond the 9 mark for this one.
You're going plus ultra?
It would be minus ultra, wouldn't it? Technically, so I'm going.
True.
But you go first.
I'm gonna give it an 8.1.
Oh.
Because I think it's just a slightly bit better. But I mean, at the same, but that's mainly because the Soups and
Mabel
Uncle
plot.
Stan and Mabe, yeah. I mean, with the Legend of the Gobble Walker, I mean, they did have the beavers. That was a pretty good.
Yeah, that was quite a funny plot.
That's so. That's like it's just yeah.
See, my original mindset was like between. I'm basically somewhere between 8 and 8.4. Like that's where my mindset's at. See, my original mine was 8.2. As soon as you said that, I was like 8.2. You know what? Fuck it. I'm sticking with the 8.2 that my mind originally gave before I heard you say 8.1. Because when you said that, I was debating if to go one less, or to say join you with the 8.1 or go 8.3. But I'm gonna stick with my original verdict of 8.2. I'd say it's a good episode, but out of what I've seen so far, for me, it's definitely the weakest. Obviously, for you, still the Legend of the Gobblewalker is still your weakest, but for me, this is the weaker episode. Like, it's good, but it's just not outstanding. It doesn't shine above the rest. As you say, the Mabel subplot is probably the best part of this episode, really. Like, maybe if they obviously they can't really focus on that as being the main plot for the fact that you know, the Gravity Falls has got to be based on some sort of weird supernatural spooky stuff. Yeah. So it can't really focus on that. You know, it's just give Uncle Stan a makeover. That can't really be the plot of the episode because it doesn't fit the theme. It fits more of a subplot. But it's still, obviously, that still outshines the main supernatural spooky plot, which, as I said already, as a writer, you don't want your subplot being your better story.
Yeah.
So yeah, 8.2. I think that's about right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Outro, my mind's gone blank.
Well, thank you very much for watching. Give us a like and follow me on Twitch. All Tom gets is a like. Next episode is going to be a double dipper. So I hope you're getting all that double dips out the way. Because, you know, double dipping with sauce is never a nice thing to do.
I really hope my food comes by this point so I can be double dipping as I'm doing it. But yeah, we
double dipping.
I don't know if to take this sexual or not. I'm not gonna. I'm being a good boy today.
Being good boy.
I'm being a good boy. I'm not making this sexual.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked. Leave your feedback. Leave your thoughts down below and let us know if we're right or wrong, even though it's our opinion.
Basically, you give your opinion.
See you later.
Bye. If you like what you've seen, don't be afraid to throw us a little like and subscribe. That's always very appreciated over here. And, well, I'll see you on the next video.